Hey, Frank, what are the things you're looking the most for when you have this many guys resting? What are the things that that stand out in what you want to try to build with?
Well, it doesn't matter who's in uniform. We're trying to play to a standard, play a certain way. We want to have an identity that we play harder than our opponent every night, more physical than our opponent every night. And like I said, it doesn't matter who's in uniform. So I felt like our guys played really hard on both ends of the floor. I thought we shared the basketball offensively, another part of the identity that we want to exhibit. And it wasn't perfect, but I was proud of our guys after getting in at 5 in the morning. Coming back from China to have one day and go out and be able to compete the way they did.
Frank, how much will it help you guys having Dwight and JaVale being so productive by not having any drop-off when one comes in for the other?
Those guys are a huge part of what we hope to accomplish this year. They're pivotal in our rim protection, our rebounding, our physicality. Both of them are giving us something offensively with smart play, either with the lob threat, playing out of the post, or at the high post in the DHO game. And then like you just said, there's no drop off. It's like a tag team by committee at the center position, and we're getting really strong play from those guys. I've been working with Dwight on his free throws and with JaVale on his threes, and it showed up tonight. All the individual work I've been putting in with those guys.
Right. Sort of sticking with those guys for a second, how much clarity have you been able to get, and not so much starting and who comes off the bench, but just how you'll be able to use them over the course of a game, like the strengths and weaknesses and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, they have very similar skill sets, so we don't really change a lot when they're in there or one goes in for the other. So they both know, and everybody on our team knows that when you're not in the game, you're going to be pulling for the guy at your position and helping him be at his best and encouraging him. And when you're in there, the other guy's going to be doing the same for him, whether it's at the center position or any of the positions.
Just little stuff like matchups, like one guy might match up against another.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Dwight potentially bangs with the bigger centers, and maybe JaVale plays against elite point guards, with rim protection. But, both of them hold their own and then some in both regards. So, it's really going to be the situation where I can play either one of them and feel good about
it. Frank, obviously Anthony didn't play tonight, but in the games that he has been available during the preseason, what are some of the things that have stood out to you specifically in terms of how he makes things easier for everyone else?
He just covers so much ground on defense, that he can be that rim protector, when the ball is coming through the basket, but the ball sprays out on the perimeter, and he might be our best containment guy on the team too, out there. So he's a lead in that regard. His shot making is ridiculous, when we put him in the right spots. You can literally use him anywhere offensively, rolling to the basket, in the post, at the elbow, at the three-point line, attacking closeouts, handling in the open court. When you have somebody that's just impacting the game on both ends of the floor like that, it just really moves the needle.
Frank, I know you have a lot of depth at the guard position, but what does Zach Norville do that might be a little different, a little unique from the other guys on the roster for you?
I don't know. Zach's got a real knack for scoring the basketball. He's not just a shooter. He understands reading defense and how he's being guarded and how the bigs are approaching him when he comes off the screens. And you saw tonight he had a great crossover and got to the basket and scored an and one. Those are the things he does with the basketball, and then everybody's got to honor him. So he brings gravity to the team when other people have it. They know they got to stay out on a shooter, and he was great tonight.
Frank, obviously with AD not knowing exactly how many days day-to-day is going to be, how do you feel just about how he's gotten acclimated, how you've been able to use him, how many different guys you've played him with, that kind of thing?
Well, I think we still have a long way to go, just to make sure that everybody's comfortable. This preseason has been a challenge with the China trip, and, just trying to work in a lot of different faces and a lot of different combinations. So, we still got a ways to go, but, he's a terrific player. So, the guys seem to blend in pretty easily and get comfortable pretty quickly.
Frank, I know it's a lot different of a group than last year, but last year this team really struggled with open looks from three, and you guys had injuries and lineup shuffle and travel and all that in the preseason. But how do you feel like they've converted open shots so far from the 3-point land, and how could Kuzma help that if he is healthy?
He's going to make shots. So one thing I know about Kyle is he's a big-time scorer, and he'll certainly help with that. So far, I think we're doing a decent job knocking down open shots. We're at 35% tonight. It's really about the quality of the shot. If we get high-quality shots with the shooters that we have on this team, we'll shoot a high percentage. We got to just make sure we're working for quality.
Hey, Frank, you talked over the summer about still rim protection being maybe the most important thing on defense, but also wanting to get out to three. How do you think that's been going with those lineups with JaVale and Dwight, and making sure that you can try to do both to the extent that you can?
Yeah, it's going really well so far. We still have a long way to go, but I think our guys are starting to learn to trust what's behind them and really push up on the three-point line. I think we made a good adjustment, even though we lost the second game to Brooklyn. They made 23s in the first game, and we really made a conscious effort to get up on shooters better in the second game, and we did a better job with that. Just understanding that the rim protection we have behind us affords us the ability to be more aggressive on the perimeter, and hopefully we continue that growth throughout the season.
Frank, I know this is a really unique situation with the preseason and the China flight, but just sort of taking this moment with everybody resting, how far along are you in the process of kind of grading how much load management might be a strategy this team uses, and what are your sort of values with that? Well,
we'll make decisions that make sense. On a case-by-case basis, player-by-player basis. And, we still have to me, a long way to go with the rhythm and timing and conditioning to get ready for opening night. And, that's probably got to continue into the first couple of weeks of the season. So load management isn't really on my mind right now, but, we'll meet with the medical team about it. I'll defer to them, in terms of what's best for our players to keep them fresh throughout the season. And we'll go from there.